We will get started in just a second. I just want to turn on some nice music. So, Twitch music. And now we can get started. Chapter 2, Shape Basics. Let's zoom in here. And I can give the link out as well. So anybody who wants to go and read along with me, they can. So this is going to be... Yeah, I played a game with them recently. Here we go. And I can post this in chat. Right here. And now we can continue on. Introduction, functions, and comparisons. Chapter 1 showed some strong and useful shapes, but you need principles as well. The first step is in understanding shape comes not with looking at specific patterns, but with the general idea that certain shapes play well, certain plays work well where others disappoint. So, looks like we have this super large knight, this 5-space large knight. White plays in the middle. Black attaches under. No, white jumps up. Black attaches underneath. Hane cut, Hane descend, and white has 2 cutting points. So the 1-point jump does not allow white to keep the 2 black stones separated. But the diagonal play try to attach under Hane, cut, Atari, Atari down, and black needs 1 more move, probably crawling underneath because that's good shape, and that's the only move that saves. All right. So what about this one? So we want to defend the mark stones. The jump works well because otherwise, if we play the hanging connection, black threatens the snapback, white connects, black jumps out and gets very good shape. And we see the same type of shape over here again. Black should use the diagonal play 1 on the left to capture the stones. Playing down towards the edge is clumsy. Now black cannot capture a white stone on the edge. A big endgame play that also creates a cutting point. Alright, so that's interesting. So the diagonal play here is the correct move. I probably would have played the Hane here and just completely missed it. Yeah, the diagonal here looks like it's even better. Empty triangle. Every dog has its day. Those who have learned as axiomatic that the empty triangle, this marks ba- black's shape, in which the point A isn't occupied by a white stone, is bad shape, may be surprised later to find it has some possible advantages. From the point of view of 2.1, there is a matter of seeing how it matches the need of the position. To start with, two reasons the empty triangle is considered bad shape. First, it is inefficient. If black makes the diagonal shape in the left-hand diagram, the two stones are already connected. If white plays one, black can connect and vice versa. Secondly, the shape formed is short of liberties. Three stones in a line has an initial 8 liberties. In the empty triangle, they have only 7. This difference may appear to be quite small, but soon makes itself felt in any close fighting. On the left, this shape has 2 empty triangles and no extra liberties to show for the 4th stone. This 2 by 2 block on the right is just as short of liberties, but is also very clearly an inefficient shape that uses stones badly. Some practical examples left is gross inefficiency, the B2 bomber shape. So this is where you have triple Hane, the 2 cutting stones here, the 3 stones here, and then this Hane here. Black tries to defend with the tiger's mouth. Black pushes. No, it's not defending with the tiger's mouth because there isn't this stone here yet. So it's playing the hanging connection here, play here, poke, Hane, threaten to do that, and then capture this stone, and then these stones are very heavy. Alright, and then we have an empty triangle here, which black plays here, white plays here, this is dead. Black could play the key point here and live. Black, white, black, white, black. That works. Okay. Makes sense. For contrast, 2 examples of empty triangles as fine shape. On the left, black 2 avoids being shut in. This is poking through an elephant's eye as well. On the right, if black cannot fight the ko, this play starts to look good after white A and black B. Interesting. While an empty triangle is bad shape more often than not, it seems impossible to give an exhaustive list of cases where it may qualify as good shape. There are examples on page 12, 16, 49, 55, 105, 117, and so on and so forth. Numbers are right here. 2.3. Around the shape. The table shape was given without much explanation. That is typical of unadorned comments. It's good shape. This section looks at 2 ways forward from there. Adjusting a single stone. The mark stone is most often better placed where it is rather than at any of A, B, C, or D. Wasn't C a modified high table shape? So they gave that as example of good shape. Maybe it was the other stone, this knight's move stone that was shifted around. No, it wasn't. It was all right. Well, whatever. For example, A makes an empty triangle shape and is not an intrinsically good idea. The shape made with D is comparable with the bamboo joint. You can say A and D are too close to the other black stones. They may be less efficient than the other 3 ways. On the other hand, B and C may be too far away. If that is the case, then the mark stone achieves a kind of off balance. However, that's not the whole story. The shape made with C turns out to be a good shape when seen in 1.4 and 1.5. Ah! Yes, we talked about that. It occurs also in the problems later. The shape made with A is seen in 3.5L in a very particular pattern. The shape made with D is very important, for example, in chapter 8. Perhaps only the shape at B is really unusual and relatively rare as a good shape. When it occurs on the next page is too loose. Stones are placed one by one on the board. Any shape move complex that the diagonal or jumps must be put together in full realism that the opponent may intervene. The first idea about shape may come from static patterns, but there is an underlying process to worry about too. We study this portion of the table shape. It contains 3 stones, but feels incomplete as it stands. It is expected to occur with some white stones, which might be distributed around it in a number of ways. The discussion of whether black stones are properly placed and connected becomes interesting and not too simple minded. So it looks like these stones are just one space away from each other. Black attaches here and extends. White plays this shape point. No, white crawls? Ah, threading the honey at the head of 2. Okay. Black makes table. White plays the mouse shape. Black makes bamboo. Now add some white stones to reduce the level of extraction and bring in possible tactical variations. The development in the left-hand diagram is quite normal. Black 5 makes a very solid shape, which is only confirmed when white plays 6 and black answers with 7 for a bamboo joint. The loser choice of black 5 can bring some redundance or leave further trouble. So 5 feels redundant. 7 is a shape point, but then white plays the mouth shape point. Which really threatens this cut hard, so does Sente. Threatens to immediately capture those stones, which is interesting. The loser choice of black 5 here can bring in some redundancy or leave future trouble. Here, 5 and 7 are too close to each other, and black shape is somewhat inefficient. On the right, this placement play at 8 leaps into the eye. It is a skillful way later for white to cut black. Let's ask why this play at white 8 is visibly on a vital point. It could be one of 2 reasons. This is the point to complete the double table shape of 1-1. Or this is the way to make an eye-stealing relationship with the white stone placed at 6. If you think about it, the first reason is related to eye shape too. So here's one way in which shape study isn't so simple. Eye shape may be involved in what at first sight is mainly a question of keeping connected. If white has reacted more passively with 2 here, alright, so where's 2? Alright, just connecting instead of playing this thread to Hane at the head of 2 here. Alright, this is a Hane at the head of 2. So 1, 2, jump. So this is now a monkey. Not a monkey. Dog's neck jump, and then 4, and then 5. And it's an efficient result for black. How dangerous is 3? Where is 3? Alright, so instead of playing here, we play here. Cut. descend, Atari, Atari, defend the cutting point, cut, connect, cut, jump, which is gonna go and squeeze these white stones a little bit. If white plays away, black can squeeze in Sente with something like here, hitting 10 on the nose, capture, connect, connect, and then black can play away. So white might resist with 4, and the meaning of the play up to 14 isn't hard to understand. Who has the advantage? After black 15, it seems the two black groups will be better developed, and it isn't so important that black has sacrificed one stone. When there are a number of weak groups in the center of the board, the balance of dynamics favors in the fighting is the most important thing. One of these factors is good shape of groups for running away or eyes. Here 3 is odd. White takes the key point at 4, which is a horrible result. Black is forced to make an empty triangle. So I think just playing at 5 instead of playing at 3 would have been better shape. Although black remains connected, this shape has an empty triangle, signaling inefficiency, and also a white stone sitting on a key eye-shaped point, generally called an angle position, and related to black 5. So it looks like we have Hane at the head of 2 and a cut. And now it's black's move. Atari, extend, wedge here, Atari, connect, and then turn. But now you have 2 cutting points. No, 3 cutting points, which is too many to handle. So cut, connect, cut, extend, and then capture. But has too few liberties. Because this is Atari. Take, Atari, connect. Turning leads into the Hane after the extend, connecting. Okay, and black has 2 liberties. So it looks like black just dies here. Capturing a single stone cannot be relied on to gain liberties, if it only makes a false eye. In fighting, even a single liberty matters. So they're showing how the Hane at the head of 2 here is very painful for black with the liberty count. Considering liberties alone, black 1 is the key point. It gives black 5 liberties, while both black A and black B make empty triangles, and only 4 liberties. For this reason, white 1 is a good way to attack. You sometimes give a greater priority to add a second dimension to a group black 1 here, aiming at playing at 3. But if white's answers at 2, black's shape is slack with a weak point at A. So black 1 is poor shape. Jumping out here allows white to play one of the key points, and then black makes a table shape, which looks very good. On the right, black 3 is still usually good, but black will have to watch for the possible weakness at C as the game continues, because white 2 has caused a shortage of liberties. In this case, black might sometimes instead wish to play at 3 at C, which is a bamboo joint. Alright, interesting. The play here are unique ways for black to win the capturing race. On the left, black gains two liberties by extending from a chain. On the right, black links two chains. Others connecting plays. For example, the bamboo joint yields fewer liberties. Empty triangles are what you see is what you get for counting liberties. All right, so yeah, 2, 4, and then 3. So black's ahead. Black's ahead here as well because 4 to 3. And then the jump here looks like it also extends liberties a bit. Hane, connect, extend here strongly. That's interesting. Looks like white has 4 liberties. Black has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 liberties. But probably 4. Since it's white's move. In this case, black is behind on account of liberties. But what about black 1? Can black gain enough liberties after the edge at 5? So Hane, connect, thread to cut through. Oh, there's a throw in. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then black is behind on liberties. So the study of shape isn't about how to avoid fights, but how to enter them only on your own well-positioned terms. The key factors in choosing fights are liberties, eye shapes, and connections. The quickest way to lose a local fight is to reduce your own liberties by clumsy play. The common pattern of liberty shortage are fairly easy to pick up. On the other hand, detailed discussions of connections take up much time in an introduction to shape. Some principles on liberties in close fighting include adding a stone to a chain normally adds 1 or 2 liberties, of which your opponent can fill 1 next turn. It may be hard to recover from losing a liberty, so avoid all unmotivated pushing into the opponent. False eyes and hanging connections can cause loss of apparent liberties, as in the last example. The same is true of bamboo joints. At various times in games, you will have to worry about whether you can connect, whether you should connect, and how then to do it, whether you can cut, and how best to cut, cuts leading to weak groups and running fights, peeps, i.e., threats to cut, and how to answer them. These all may involve shape reasoning. Ambition always stretches out for extra efficiency. The usual reason for holding back is that you may be cut. There's always also the fear of invasion. Shape that is capable of making eyes attracts the attention of all experienced players. Some reserve eye shape in groups increases the range of possibilities for fighting in a given part of the board, while taking care of a group that is only just alive may be quite constraining on your other projects. The subject of eye shape is complicated. There are good reasons why whole books are devoted to life and death, especially on the sides and in the corners, and in the center context becomes crucial. Always pay close attention to the context in fights. Neighboring stones influence the side of the board. Theoretical good shape is a big help, but it isn't enough on its own. What, if anything, is wrong with white 1 here? A fundamental question is how to connect, given a range of possible plays such as A to D. White certainly ought to not get cut round here, but which is the right play? The solid connection demonstrates no ambition to be efficient, but allows black nothing at all in the ways of later forcing moves. C allows for peep. D cut. D A C B. Bop 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 bop. Take. So D works. I think D is the best here. If white is strong to the right, B might be better. The peep is waste if it gets swallowed up. After C, white has no reason to connect with 3. Alright, 1 is the normal good shape. This indirect connection is supported by 2 ladders, and here there's a net. The black forcing move on the right is not worth very much, as there is not a good way to follow up. The stone is already very weak as well, because it's got 2 of its liberties taken up. There are examples such as the ones on individual eyes. So, Hane, connection, descend. The recognition of half eyes is not as easy as you may think. Black 3 completes an eye. On the right, white fails. So, one cut. Okay. Yeah, this looks like E and F or Mi for white to get rid of an eye. So at A, if white plays A, black plays B. C, D looks like white's about to die. D, C, descend into connect, looks like black makes an eye. Life and Death illustrates how old the principle hard cases make bad law. Only in the center of the board does eye shape follow relatively simple rules. Fundamental shape for attackers are the eye stealing play, left, and the clamp on the right, and related with the white mark stones. Enthusiasm for destroying eyes or making them can go too far, as we shall see. These plays are one kind of suji, style of playing, basic tactics or technique. These plays in the left diagram are often described as the eye stealing tsuji, and played in sparser positions in which the eye is as yet unformed. So, defending eye shape versus running out. It is wrong to assume that the first task is defending a weak group is to build eye shape. If stones are worth saving, one's duty may be first to run out with them, making it easier to connect to another group, and also adding liberties in case of an ultimate capture race. So, jump out here, Atari, take, connect, and hanging connection. Looks like good shape. The defender has to decide how much relative weight should be given to constructing eyes and how much to running out. On the left, white makes a definite eye, but it might look heavy on some occasions. On the right, white can develop more rapidly by allowing the eye to be destroyed, but gets out. So this is generally better play. So light and heavy. Two of the most important ways in which shape may be qualified are as light or heavy. To make light shape is to consider future conveniences and flexibility over short-term solidity and the safety of each stone. Light shape is usually to be recognized by its mobility and avoidance of solid connections. Flexibility is gained by the willingness to sacrifice stones. White 1 here solves the connection problem by being prepared to sacrifice one stone if black cuts, forcing with A or C. Heavy shape, on the other hand, emphasizes current profit in connection over long-term worries about defense, and the possible requirements to sacrifice some of one's stones later. White's connection A, B, or C are relatively heavy plays. Heavy play is perhaps the mistake all Q players share. Attacks that are too ambitious or commit a player to killing Large groups often involve the need to save every single attacking stone in order to deny the defender eye shape. This in turn may lead to lack of liberties and too many cutting points in the attacker's shape. Two Japanese technical terms that are very important from a professional point of view, but are less well known than they should be, are amarigachi and amashi. Amarigatachi is the kind of weakened or overextended shape that the attacker is left with after an attack pushing too hard. Amashi is a high-level defensive strategy of leaving a group weak enough to tempt the opponent to attack. If then Amarigatachi results, the plan succeeds. The clamp play in action. If white attacks with more distance play, such as A, black may gain an eye in the center with ease. That doesn't mean that white 1 is necessarily good. White really should be playing one of the X points first for a less direct plan of a roundabout attack. The marked stone steals an eye so that black's group seems to be under pressure. However, when white plays 5, required for consistency, that is a heavy play, it commits white to saving these two stones. This is typical of where the natural wish to attack decisively may lead. Now replace white 5 of the previous diagram by 1 here. White 3 loses points unless white kills black. Unless white kills black, this will be an obviously bad play. White's concept of how to fight is too direct. More advanced and appropriate thinking to attack the mark black stones first in some roundabout way. Black playing at the mark point is sente against the corner because black 1, another eye stealing play, is strong. For example, on the right, white dies, but still, white shouldn't rush to take away this half eye. For flexibility, attacker and defender should stay light. On the previous page and this one are shown heavier wasteful plays, usually to keep up an attack. Light shape is very important to both defender and attacker. The defender benefits from being able to give up a few stones while saving most of a group. The attacker should attack in a way that doesn't assume the target weak group will die, while retaining good shape from the point of view of building territory or influence. Perhaps these conclusions run against the intuition of beginners. So that concludes Chapter 2. Next time we will resume with Chapter 3, which is close range play. Thank you for listening. Now I should probably cancel the announcement I made. And we shall raid someone. Let's see who's streaming on Twitch right now. Well, let's raid the Loving Sun. If I can just... I'll click raid now and then look at his reaction if I can.